Well, I've lost count on how many times I've started this video, from getting more angry to just, I don't know. I was asked to do a video on the Nashville shooter, the Covenant School, which is a private Christian school for preschool to 6th grade. Evil went to that school and killed Evelyn Dickhouse, who was a 9-year-old little girl, Haley Scruggs, who was a 9-year-old little girl, William Kinney, who was a 9-year-old little boy, and then killed Mike Hill, 61, Catherine Kuntz, 60, and Cynthia Peak, 61. 3 of those victims woke up that morning to go to school, learn new things, play with friends, and they had no idea that that was the last day on this earth for them. Now, I was asked how we can stop this, and I can't tell you why it happens. All I can tell you is evil. And this scum was evil. And she took weapons into a school that she had targeted. She had a manifesto. She had maps written out because it was a soft target. She shot the windows out of the door, crawled through the windows, and then did a little walk around the school, killing 6 innocent people. The first day of the news came out and said that she was a shooter at the school, and then the next day they apologized for misgendering her. Politicians were apologizing for misgendering her. News outlets were reporting that possible cause of this was a law that was passed in Tennessee to stop mutilating their children. At the age of 18, do what you want to yourself. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Leave children alone. That's a simple message. Leave the kids alone. There's absolutely no reason to go after the kids. Special interest groups always seem to talk about being tolerant, and they're the first ones that aren't tolerant. And it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. And I'm not siding with any side right now because this whole thing pisses me off. Because the minute something like this happens, you have politicians coming out, the pro-Second Amendment groups, you have the anti-gun groups, you have special interest groups, you have celebrities and politicians alike that come out here and start making excuses for things and start putting the blame on everything but what the blame is on. And the blame is on the suspect who pulled the trigger. That's where the blame belongs. She went in that school with a specific reason to kill people for absolutely no reason. And they want to put the blame on the gun. They want to put the blame on a law that was passed in Tennessee. They want to put the blame on the special interest group that's in danger. Well, I'm sorry, you're not in danger. You're not a victim. Stop. Just stop. The victims, those 6 names I just read off, those are the victims. So how do we stop this? Well, one thing you do, like the Nashville PD did. They did an outstanding job. 3 minutes from the time they entered that building until the time that scum was dead on the ground where she belongs. Period. There's no misgendering, nothing. Gender has nothing to do with this. Evil is evil. It doesn't matter what you identify as. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Your biological gender doesn't come into play in this. What comes into play in this is you're evil. End of story. They asked me why aren't parents more involved? Why didn't her parents find out? She's 28 years old living at home. There's people that have 10-year-olds that they don't go in their room to see what they have. Do we need to start getting more involved with our kids? Yeah, we really do. But how do you stop this? Is it putting more guns on the street? No. Is outlawing guns? No, that's never going to work. It never has. It never will. They can outlaw guns all they want. It ain't going to stop them. And I know it's an old political argument of you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. Well, it's a fact. You outlaw guns, law-abiding citizens will give them up. Criminals won't. You don't see a criminal walking up giving a buyback program unless they stole a gun and they return it. And they're going to get caught anyway with it. How do you end this? You put somebody who's armed and trained in every school in this nation. They did a study a few years back where it would cost this country $5 billion a year to put an armed individual in every single school in this country. But our politicians feel it's better to take our money and send it to other countries to make them more safe. This ain't going to stop. The only way to stop this is by stopping evil before it comes through the door. Now, what do you do when your kids are inside that school? Lockdown's a good thing, but we need to figure out a way to get those doors locked. Spetsnaz learned really hard in Beslan when the Al-Qaeda had locked up the gym. They couldn't get into it. You stack things in front of that door, you tie that door shut, and you secure and harden your facility. We got to stop building schools with windows in the inside walls of the school. That just is an open window. It just makes no sense. Don't huddle in corners. You load your kids up in the corners. We learned that in a mosque in New Zealand, where actually gun laws are extremely strict in that country, and it didn't stop a mosque from getting shot up. There were people piled up in the corners, and this guy walked in and shot both piles of people. Didn't even have to aim. It's the same with the children in the classroom. Spread them out. And if he or she does get in through that door, prepare to fight. And fight with everything you've got. You hit them and you hurt them. You end them. That's how you end this violence. Stop it before it gets in your school. Get somebody armed in every single school in this country and trained, and their only job is to secure that school and make sure evil doesn't get through the door. You end it before it comes in. We had an incident happen right here in my hometown. Individual drove into a bakery, drove his car right into the window, backed it up, drove around, came back, ran in the window again, parked his car, got out of his car, and started getting through the back seat as he's yelling out, somebody in there is going to die. People in there are going to die. 23-year-old male. They found a little bit of marijuana in his car, but there's something else going on in that brain. The state of Utah had 12 school lockdowns today because people think it's funny. Kids think it's funny. After some incident like this, they call in every little thing. Some kids do it just out of a joke. Well, it's not a joke. Stuff like this happens. We need to stop. Our politicians need to shut their mouths. Our media needs to shut their mouth unless they're reporting on the facts. Facts and facts only, not opinions, not apologies, not a political agenda. Media, report on facts. Politicians, shut your mouth and listen to the people who put you in office. People want this to stop. The only way to stop this is by stopping the evil before it comes to the door. That's by putting somebody who's armed in every single school in this country. I know a lot of retired police officers do it. You vet them, background check them, physical check, make sure that they're physically fit to be able to do this job. You put them in those schools. Veterans, do the same thing for them. I guarantee that you'll have a line of people wanting that job in every single school in this country. Here's a call out to anybody who decides that they want to possibly go shoot a school up. Come to our range and shoot us up. Come somewhere where you're going to get shot back. Leave our kids alone. Leave our innocent people alone. They're cowards. Plain and simple. These individuals who go into schools and shoot them up or go into buildings and attack innocent, unarmed people are cowards. Every single one of them. Mentally deranged cowards. No special interest groups. We're not going to lump these evil demons in with every single group out there. I don't care if you're a conservative or liberal. It doesn't matter to me. Evil is evil. And I'm not going to lump you in. I'm not going to say that this individual who claims to be one thing and another and mentally deranged, I'm not going to lump her into the group of individuals that they're not all evil. So that's not what I'm doing here. But I'm not going to give her any respect at all. None. She deserves absolutely zero respect. But that's my opinion on it. I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, I started this video so many times, I just get angrier and angrier every time I talk about this. But let's go out there and let's talk about it. Let's let people talk about this. Make some comments on here. Let's get a conversation going. Right side, left side, it doesn't matter. Special interest groups, let's get a conversation going amongst all of us, because if you think you're right, you might not be. If you think somebody else is wrong, they might not be. You know, let's come together and come up with a solution. Outlawing guns ain't going to do it. There's already 20,000 laws on the books against guns. It hasn't stopped anything. Murder's already illegal, and it didn't stop any of this. So let's come up with a solution together. That's the only way we can get to talk. Grassroots. Start in the beginning, and let's get our politicians to listen to us. Let's get our employees to listen to us. So make some comments on here. Subscribe to this channel. If you don't like what I said today, unsubscribe, because I'm not changing my attitude or my opinion on this. So stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and have a good night.